Stuart Burnside is chairman of Wapping Hockey Club. He's an independent trustee for the London Youth Games and was England Hockey Volunteer of the Season 2013-14. Stuart is here today in the studio to talk about exciting projects being developed and delivered by Wapping Hockey Club. Thank you and welcome to the Sports Show.
Thanks very much for having me on. It's great to be here.
Tell us a little bit about the background of Wapping Hockey Club.
Well, Wapping was really an Olympic legacy project founded after the 1988 gold medal. You probably remember that out in Seoul, people like Sean Curley, those guys. And really what happened was Tim Poton, who founded the club, was inspired to get a group of his friends together to bring hockey into inner London for the first time. So before that point, there was really no sort of true urban hockey clubs. There was no hockey in Tower Hamlets. There was a little bit of provision in schools, but no real clubs. And that's why we then entered the league in 1989 in the bottom division, which I think was Division 11 at the time. And we've been fighting our way up ever since.
Is hockey a popular sport?
It is. It's really growing in participation. I think, obviously the dominant team sport is football. I think it benefits from that you can play it anywhere and play on grass. But hockey really, I think, in terms of sports, is probably about fifth or so behind more single participant sports like cycling and swimming are very popular. But in team sports, right up there. The other interesting thing with hockey is it's the most gender neutral sport in the country.
Okay.
So it's roughly 50-50 participation between men and women. And that, I think, helps drive the numbers. And one of the other great characteristics of hockey is that the nature of the game is such that you can play it with quite a wide age range. So people talk about the hockey family because it's actually not uncommon for son and father to be able to play on the same team because actually the compensation of the speed of youth, whereas the skill and experience of age in the different positions mean that you can actually get quite a good range of people together. So what we've seen certainly in Tower Hamlets has been strong demand for many years, but the difficulty has really been about getting the right level of access to facilities. Hockey these days is played on AstroTurf, and as you know, with other sports like football also wanting to use AstroTurf as well, there's always a big demand for facilities anywhere when you're in this type of urban environment. It's just a fact of life. But what we've seen certainly is big growth, and over the last few years since we've added additional facilities, we've grown from, I think, about 199 members in 2013 to about 350 players now. So big growth, lots of popularity, and I think there's a lot of opportunity for people in schools. Because the other thing to bear in mind with sport, and I see a wide range of sports with my London Youth Games hat on, is that different physiques suit different sports. So whilst one person may be right for football, another person may be right for rugby, another person may be right for hockey. So it's a really good to have as wide a range of sports as possible available, for the borough and particularly the borough's children, I think.
You mentioned Olympic legacy. How important has that been in the development of Wapping Hockey Club?
Well, it's really caused an explosion for us, actually. We were founded because of the '88 Olympics, but the 2012 Olympics, what has happened as a consequence of that is the legacy has led to the creation of the Lee Valley Hockey and Tennis Centre, which is on the site where the disability tennis was in the Olympics, so up at Eaton Manor on the northern edge of the Olympic Park. And they've put in there 2 international grade pitches and a 3,000 capacity stadium, which can expand up to 15,000, as it did when we hosted the European Championships last summer. And really, that's taken us from a club that had one 27-year-old AstroTurf to 2 international grade pitches. And then with the completion this January of the refurbishment of the John Orwell Centre, we now have 3 pitches which are suitable for first-class hockey. And that's why we've been able to expand first in terms of adult membership, the figures I talked about before, and secondly with our new projects that I've mentioned to you prior to this interview in terms of having a new youth hockey club and also a big focus on making hockey more accessible for people with disabilities. So really, it's very, very exciting times for us. And the standard of the hockey we play is rising. The amount of people that are playing is rising, and the quality of the coaches that we're able to bring into the borough and provide those opportunities is really rising as well. So it's very, very exciting times.
So with these exciting new developments, surely now you must be able to attract interest from a better caliber of player and coach. How has that been?
Well, that's certainly the case. I mean, just to give you an idea by measuring in terms of our first teams, I mentioned in '88 we started in something like Division 11. By the time you get up to 2000, we're in Division 4, I think, which, if I translate that into football, is roughly the same as the Essex Senior League. So where we've then gone since then to in the case of the men's first team, the top of the East Premier A, which is third tier nationally, and the ladies are at top of East Division 1, that is really the equivalent of if you took a team in the Essex Senior League like London Bangla, Sporting Bengal, London Bangla, so Sporting Bengal or Tar Hamlets FC or any of these Essex Senior League sides, if they in the space of 15 years got promoted so many times that they were at the top of Division 1, so they're Leyton Orient, but top of the league, looking to get promoted into Championship, that's what's happened with hockey in Tar Hamlets. That's the progression in 15 years. So that is incredible in itself. But also then you add the national stadium. So we're playing at Hockey's Wembley. And that means we're attracting people who coach and who play in the current England and GB side to come and help coach people in the borough. So, for example, John Hurst, who coaches the England and GB goalkeepers, Maddie Hinch, who's the England number one of the best goalkeepers in the world, Kirsty Mackay, her number 2, Al Dick, who used to play for Scotland, Dave Keptall, who's the current Welsh number 1. These guys are all coming and helping us coach, and just the standard that we are able to offer for people to learn is just rocketed. Even in the space of the last 3 years, the development has been really crazy. I mean, it's and you start getting these big names in, and of course then you're able to position yourself differently with the media. You're able to get more in the way of sponsors, and that really puts us in a different position in terms of what we can afford as well.
Sounds like some brilliant opportunities available there. What if local people want to take advantage, if they want to come and watch, or if they want their children or even themselves to participate in coaching sessions? What's the best way to go about it?
Well, it's very simple. So if you want to come and watch, no thought is required. Just turn up. So we play every Saturday. We're at the John Orwell Centre, which now has covered spectator seating, which it didn't used to before. And it now has step-free access and some space for wheelchairs in that seating as well. Or in the Olympic Park, the Lee Valley Hockey and Tennis Centre. Again, there's lots of seating there, and people can come and watch. And we have some very high standard stuff on there now. In terms of playing, it's very simple. You just, if you're an adult, you email Wapping, WAPPING, hc@gmail.com, and you ask to come to some sessions. And we're able to offer a really wide range. So we take people who've never played before, and we also take people who are have played internationally. Or if you want your child to be involved, we have a good offering for primary school age children, which is very new. We launched this in January, and you need to email Wapping Kids, which is kids with a double D, because we based it on the piracy of Wapping. So wappingkids@gmail.com. Or if you have a child with disabilities and you're wondering whether we can accommodate them, then yes, of course we can. And that is Wapping Flyers, which is FLYERZ@gmail.com again. And we have a very experienced former child physio who coordinates that for us, Lara. And really what we're doing there is looking at making it an offering that works whether somebody has, say, mild learning disabilities, or whether they need to use a wheelchair, or whatever else. It's really, for us, it's about providing a sport that anybody can play. And really with that, it's just make sure you have enough space and enough pitch time that you can tailor your offering. So in the main club, we have plenty of people with disabilities. We have people who maybe have restricted hearing or this kind of thing. But if someone needs something that's more tailored to them, so let's say they have less muscle strength or something like this, then that's the environment that we're providing that as well. So really, it's for everybody.
What's your background in hockey?
Well, I'm not very good at hockey. This is the running joke in my club. I've never been good at hockey. I'm reasonably good at administration. So I started playing when I was 11. I played at school. I'm from Yorkshire originally. I played at school, and it was just, in the same way that somebody would play football, except I'm hopeless at football. I've got 2 left feet, so I played hockey instead. And, it's something I stuck with. And then, when I moved down to London, I joined Wapping because it was 10 minutes from my flat. And then I've played there since 2004. And, you end up, as you get a bit older, you take some captain roles, and you get a bit older still, and you get into the coaching, and you get into eventually running the club, as has happened with me.
How have you found the administration side of things?
Well, it's a difficult balance because for us, really, the emphasis is on it being fun. So we're an amateur sport, so we can't take it too seriously. If someone misses training, we're not going to shout at them. It's not that kind of environment. But equally, we're a club that wants to go places. So we want to win, because it's competitive sport. So we want to win our leagues. And that's very clear across the club. So, at the moment we have, in terms of Saturday league sides, we have 10 men's sides and 7 ladies sides. 9 of them are top of the league. So there's a real culture that people want to do well. And, that is a difficult balance because you have to get that right with it still being fun and friendly and, competition for places, contest friendships. But I think we're doing okay so far. And, it's very noticeable that our teams will go and watch other teams' games. So we support each other, and that's a really positive culture. And then in terms of my contribution, it then, as well as setting that tone, it becomes about things like sponsorships. So, you see with the shirts we're wearing, we have JLL there, which is a property company, and they've been incredibly supportive. Their motto is "Ask the World," which is perfect for us because we do ask them the world. And really what they're looking at there is about aspiration and about opportunity. And for them, the idea that someone, irrespective of background, can get access to really good quality coaching at a fair price and can potentially go on and eventually play for England, that sort of aspiration for us really aligns and works for them. So my background, I work in the city as well as doing the hockey stuff. And really that's been very positive for the club because I've been able to identify commercial partners who share the same kind of vision as us. Because it's not just about asking someone for money, you want a partnership where it's more meaningful and where you see things the same way. And that's what I've been trying to bring.
How important is the role of a volunteer at the club?
It's enormous. It's enormous. So there's a range of levels of volunteering commitment. I mean, for me personally, I think I do 20 hours a week unpaid, something like this. But obviously we don't expect everybody to do this amount. But there's a wide range from, if I take coaching as an example, for the first teams, you need very experienced coaches. So you often need to bring them in from outside the club and you need to pay them. But when you go lower down, the way that has a trickle-down effect is then the first team, the second team players, they then become the coaches for the lower teams. So they accept that they're receiving something that everybody pays for from the membership fees, and then they turn that into something that helps the lower teams by then volunteer coaching. I mean, that's one example. Similarly, we need umpires, we need people who are going to arrange social events, parties, someone to put all of the fixtures in a spreadsheet, which, as you can imagine, with 17 Saturday sides and probably I think we're on 24 sides overall once you add in mixed and indoor. There's a lot of things to put in a spreadsheet, or keeping the social media accounts running, or any of these kind of things. It all takes people's time. But I think because we're going places and because people feel that energy and feel that this is a club that can achieve, then people are willing to help. And you see that with the new club for youth and the disability. All of the coaches for this they're not charging. Another offering that we have is over the summer we have a program that's just for beginners. So we host a summer league, which is very high standard. But alongside that, we have something that if you've never played before, or you maybe used to play at school, haven't played for 10 years, you can come and play. And that we were able to provide for free last year because the coaches didn't charge, and we had some money from the Mayor of London free sport funding. And that meant that people were able to come and play with us and learn hockey for free over the summer. And that's what I believe in, because it's about the opportunity to access the sport. It's not going to be right for everyone, but if you can remove the barriers and make it a sport that is accessible to everybody, then people can get a positive experience out of it and hopefully share the love that I have for the game.
Wapping Hockey Club is a tremendous example of how a small club using the Olympic legacy has taken on their grassroots role, taken it very seriously and engaged with all sectors of the community. We wish them the very best of luck for the future. Thank you for watching The Sports Show.